welcome back. So we got more news today with BR changes and changes to the uniform system. The BR changes are probably going to be the more interesting tidbit of this update, and we'll get to that in a minute. But while we're on this page, they have announced some changes to the way that Premium Squad's uniforms will be displayed. It seems like they're going to keep their original uniforms most of the time, but when they go places that are very different, they're going to change. But there are, right here, they say that they'll be trying to update the uniqueness of these squads in the future by gradually updating their appearance in other maps. So hopefully that means Tunisia outfits for all of the Eastern Front Germans, and potentially European camo for all the Tunisian squads and Pacific squads. But I guess we'll see. We'll see how that turns out. At least with War Thunder, they've been pretty good at rolling out patch by patch changes to backflow updates. So in War Thunder, a good example of this would be the loadout system that they've brought in on planes. Initially, it was just a handful of things at top tier, and they've gradually put it onto more and more older and older things. The same with Napalm and War Thunder. So they have a decent track record of actually implementing changes like this, so this should be interesting to see. Some of their uniforms I don't think would be an issue, though. Anyway, on to the more important part, the BR changes. Most of these are pretty good. Some of them are a little bit questionable. I know a lot of the American mains were concerned by their lack of M1 Grands at the lower tiers, only having the M1 Carbine. To be honest, I think the Carbine being fully upgraded, a 2-hit kill with similar dispersion and recoil to the Grand, probably would have performed alright. I think they could have buffed it a little bit, given it higher fire rate and reduced its recoil a little bit. Basically taken away some of the nerfs that they did across the board to semi-autos a year or two ago. But instead, they've elected to move the Garand down, and in addition to that, they've moved several of the Thompsons down. It's nice to see that there will be Thompsons outside of 4-5 BR range, but they probably will be very powerful. The M1A1 doesn't have a ton of fire rate. I'm pretty sure the Thompson M1 is the one that I normally prefer in Normandy, and then I'm fairly certain that this is the one I prefer in the Pacific and in Tunisia. Because I believe this is the 30-round Thompson with the foregrip on it, which is a very good Thompson. It's the same as, I believe, the one with the drum mag, except I don't believe that one has the foregrip. Anyway, the M1 Grand and the Sniper Grand will be extremely powerful. The Sniper Grands are really, really fun. The Paratrooper Squad in the Pacific has them. They perform really well. The M4 A3 105 going to BR3 should be very powerful. Now, they have come out on the forums and said it will only have HE, so it's probably not going to be as powerful as some may have expected it to be, but as far as dealing with infantry hordes, this and the Chiha shotgun should be the kings of that. The Bowfighter going up makes sense, given that it has RP3s and RP3 slap. The Thompson 30 cal going down makes sense if they're moving all the other Thompsons down. The BSA Thompson going from 4 to 2 is a pretty big change, but admittedly it only has a 20-round mag, so it's probably not the end of the world. The Bubba Grand going down is in line with all the other Grands. All in all, I think the Americans are moving back into the position that they had on the second dev server of being the winners of the merge. Having access to Thompsons and M1 Grands at rank 3 is going to be extremely potent, since rank 3 can flex both into 1-2 BR and into 4-5. I mean, as it stands right now, even though I've got M2 carbines in Normandy, I regularly bring squads with Garands and Thompsons, and they're just as competitive as the FG-42 squads are from the Germans, so it basically changes nothing for me from the current system. If anything, it just means that I'll fight more people that are undergeared with M1 Grands. I mean, hey, that's good for me, right? Probably bad for them. It's good to see that the Type 99 long with flags is going down. I don't remember where the normal Type 99 long stands, but I can't imagine it's going to be in BR3. The Type 99 just has such a low fire rate. I actually kind of wish I'd gotten these guys. I didn't play the whole event last New Year's. I have the Australian squad with the Austins, but not these fellas. They are by far one of the drippiest squads in the game, though. Real fine uniforms. Moving on to Russia and Germany, the KV-1 at BR3 has the potential to be an absolute terror. Now, of course, these BRs can change before the patch goes live, and I'm sure that they'll move up and down and all around after the patch goes live and Darkflow gets more statistics. Is it going to be the most unbalanced thing in the world? Probably not. I mentioned in my video before that the KV-1 probably should be at BR3, but it makes sense to have it at BR4 because of how potent it is if it runs into rank 1 and 2. But it makes sense in 3, seeing that it will see up and down. If it goes up, it's going to get clobbered because it's going to be fighting Tiger 2s, Tiger 1s, Panthers. If it goes down, it's going to do the clobbering. At the end of the day, if you've got a plane with a bomb, you can always deal with it. TNT packs sometimes work if you get them in the right spot. It is a potent tank, though. The A-20 will probably also do well. I don't remember what the Soviet loadout is on the A-20, but I'm sure it'll do well. It's got to be like 4-ish bombs if it's like the American A-20. It makes a lot of sense to see the Mosins go down to BR1 since they're bolt actions, also because they're a premium squad, and I'm sure that Darkflow wants them to continue being used. I mean, it is a 1944 rifle in BR1, but they could have been like some of the other bolt actions and sat in BR2 and 3. Some of the Leonfields, I believe, are in 3. I don't really have a strong opinion either way. I mean, obviously I'll use it more if it's BR1, like, this is a good change for people who want to use it, but at the same time, I'm not opposed to running bolt-action rifles in rank 5. I run my Lebel boys in Berlin all the time. It is what it is. It's a good change, I just don't have a strong opinion. The event gas going down, that's strong. I'm not sure where... Okay, the Flak Panzer is also going down. Yeah, that makes sense. The Flak Panzer is, I think, iffy. I think the truck does pretty well, but that might just be because I use it and I don't use the other one. I don't have them on Dragon yet, so it going up, I guess, is what it is. The Lebels going down, I appreciate. Like I said, I like the Lebel boys, but at the same time, you can use them higher up. This is the other interesting change. The Panzerwerfer is going up. Now, the Panzerwerfer, I think, is a very polarizing vehicle. It can do a ton of damage to infantry, and it can do it very quickly. But it also has almost no use against tanks, and it's extremely vulnerable. So, it was probably alright at rank 3. I'm happy to see it in rank 4, though. I mentioned in the first video of the second dev server that if Darkflow wanted to improve the new player experience, putting rocket artillery in range of new players probably is not a good decision, and putting it in rank 4 eliminates that possibility, so this is probably a good decision. Similar to the KV1, where I think it's got very, very clear benefits and very clear weaknesses. And so in a normal system, like if we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as our BR ranges, or if we had 1, 2 alone, 1, 2 sometimes 3, 3 alone, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth. Like if 3 could be a standalone BR where sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down, and a lot of the time it just stays at its own BR, I could see it being at rank 3. I just think it's dangerous to put that there if you want new people to have a good experience. It's the same thing with the KB1. It has the potential to be oppressive, but we'll see how it turns out. The wartime mod, I'm sure a lot of people will be happy to get that at a lower BR, especially since it was just out. But yeah, other than that, most of these changes pretty much put things where you'd expect them to be. The VG-15 going to BR3, it is what it is. It's a semi-auto. It's not the best, it's not the worst. I think it's pretty good. The Beretta 3842 going down is fine. It'll probably see more use. There's already a lot of Berettas in BR3, and I already think they're some of the stronger SMGs in that rank. Panzer 470 and the Panzer 4J going down can only be good. Playing hull-lock tank destroyers in this game can be tedious, especially if you end up on Berlin and Normandy a lot, because there's a lot of urban fighting, and there's not a whole lot of open terrain to take advantage of. And the Panzer 4J has always struggled in Berlin, so getting a hand-crank turret out of Berlin is good. And the D3 going up is fine. It is what it is, Same with the G55, but the G55 is primarily a fighter. And I don't really take fighters too seriously in this. If they get rid of the lead indicator, I think that I would be more interested in the fighters in this, but with the lead indicator, it really isn't a case of who can outfly the other person. It's really just a case of who sees the other guy first and gets the drop on him. And at that point, it really doesn't matter what you have. As long as you have a full caliber, like anti-material round, so like a 50 cal or a cannon round, you should be fine. The issue really only comes in when you've got like British 303s or 792s on the earlier German planes. But the G55 is not one of those planes, so it doesn't really make a difference. It'll do fighter things at whatever BR you put it at. But yeah, get out there, keep winning your games. This has been your Enlisted News Update.